Witness in the courtroom, Your Honor.
Bring around the floor, please. Yes, sir.
Raise your hand. You swear firmly to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth that you got? Make it so.
All right, you ready for examination? Would you give us your name, please?
Charles Anthony Davis, nickname Tony Davis.
Where do you live, Mr. Davis?
4459 Tank Road, Interior, Mississippi.
Am I correct in saying you're a retired firefighter?
Yes.
How long did you work for the Henderson?
City of Jackson Fire Department, 30 years.
What rank, how high rank did you say?
Assistant Fire Chief.
Do you know Robert Smith?
Yes, I do.
How is it that you know Robert?
My family, my older sister, know his mother, and that's how I got to know him. Been on Mary's sister's board.
Have you, when you began to run for district attorney or election in Saudi's campaign, did you assist him in the campaign?
Yes, I did.
What's the last campaign you assisted in?
This past one.
2015?
That's correct.
Would you tell the jury, in your opinion, is Robert Smith an honest person?
Yes, he is. He's very honest.
Do you know a man named, nicknamed Too Sweet Henderson?
Robert Henderson is too sweet. Been knowing him for about 15 years.
Do you have an opinion of his honesty?
Oh yes, I do.
What does that mean?
He's a liar, con man, and confidence person.
Do you know whether Mr. Henderson is sometimes campaigning for various political campaigns?
Yes, he does that, putting up political signs and stuff like that. Trying to hustle to make a dime type deal.
Do you remember whether or not Mr. Henderson was involved in the 2015 political campaign where Mr. Robert Smith was running against Mr. Stanley?
Yes. Basically, he was putting up signs, doing what I call the menial task, but he went up in the upper echelons of the campaign staff, to my knowledge.
Were you campaigning for Robert also?
Yes, I was.
Do you remember who handled finances for the campaign?
His father.
Smith?
Yeah, Mr. Smith, Reverend Smith. He's the only one that would handle money, because Robert never handled money.
In any capacity?
No, not that, and I was around quite a bit, and I never saw that.
And to your knowledge, was the money handled through cash or was it handled through checks?
I don't really know on that part. I couldn't say.
Do you know whether or not, tell me if you know or don't know, do you know whether or not there was what's called an independent PAC that was campaigning also for Robert, not directly associated with campaigns, that was running advertising, doing knowledge of that?
I heard about it, but I'm not really familiar with it. They did their own thing, and I think Mr. Smith, Robert Shuler Smith did do a few ads. I'm not sure.
And my question is, from what you heard on the radio, was it some independent PAC that was running ads supporting Robert Smith. Do you know was that going on?
I think so.
You don't really have any written knowledge of it.
Right.
Do you remember in 2015, you had a conversation with Mr. Henderson concerning some allegations that were being made by, well, I'll let you tell me they were being made by, but some allegations being made that Robert had been drinking or drunk at some political activity?
It was at some club called West Lounge, and that he was supposed to be drinking, and it was dope smoking and stuff going on.
Who made those allegations?
Robert Henderson.
I'm sorry, did they emanate from Robert, or Robert said to report what was being said?
He just simply said that this is what was going on at that time.
Do you know, did he tell you where he was getting this information?
From Timothy Liddell.
Who is Timothy today?
Was a mutual friend of his and a mutual friend of mine.
Who was Mr. Liddell campaigning for?
He was campaigning for Stanley Alexander.
And you and Mr. Henderson then had a conversation about that?
Yes, we did.
Where were you when you had the conversation?
I was at home.
How, when was it?
Oh, it was right after, I think it was right after the birthday party, when they were bringing all this stuff out. I think Robert had a birthday party at that West Lounge, and that's when it was brought up.
And what was the substance of the conversation that y'all had?
Well, basically, that I told him it was a bunch of bull.
Did he agree with you or disagree with you, remember?
He really didn't, he just kept repeating himself on that, saying it over again. I told him, I said, man, it's just a bunch of bull, just forget it, basically.
Did you realize at the time you were having a conversation that the tape recorder on your phone was on?
No, and still didn't. I mean, I got a new phone, and my children and my people down at C-Spire put up about 50, 60 apps on my phone, and I didn't realize it until my daughter was up there playing with my phone and telling me about it.
When did you find out that the conversation had been taped?
When that was, we were trying to figure out what conversations and how I got on my phone, and she was playing back one of them.
When was this? When was it you realized you were on your phone?
That was this year, probably around February, March, maybe January.
Okay. Have you had occasion to tell Robert Smith that you had that conversation, or that that was a tape conversation that you had?
Yeah, I did advise him that yes, about that. There was a question about it, and but it was nothing, no big deal to me because it was just a lot being spread.
All right. Did you ultimately give Robert a copy of the tape, or let him make a copy anymore?
Not to Robert, it was another man that came down and he was trying to help me open up the files and stuff. And, cause I didn't know how to do it, and I don't think he knew how to do it.
You don't think he got it?
The guy that came down to open it up because he was having a problem. He sat there for 2 or 3 hours trying to figure it out. And, that was it. I mean, as far as the phone and stuff, when he said he had to come back, and I left it in a bag for him and told him, well, you come and get it because I was going deer hunting.
When was the tape ultimately turned over to Robert, if you know?
I don't know if it was turned over to Robert. I turned it over to the guy.
About when was that?
That was on a Friday night. So, and that was during the first week before last.
Week before last.
Week before last.
All right. I want to forget about 2015 and that conversation and take you up to 2016 and ask you whether you had any occasion to have a conversation with Mr. Henderson concerning his having been arrested and conversations he had with representatives of the Attorney General's office.
Yes,
First, tell me when this was. About when did you have this conversation?
This was in August. And it was
2016?
in 2016, my birthday week. which is August the 17th, it was my birthday. And that's when we had a lot of our conversations because he was very concerned that Attorney General's office was trying to intimidate him and force him to say something on Robert Shuler Smith. And at that time, he told me, he said, man, I didn't roll with Robert Shuler Smith like that. I don't know nothing. And I told him, I said, well, you need to go tell the truth. I said, if you don't trust nobody, go to the FBI and tell them.
Tell me exactly what he was saying. First of all, did he identify who from the Attorney General's office was talking?
No, he didn't give me any people names. He just said that they had came down and they were constantly talking to him, trying to intimidate him and stuff, and he just didn't know, he didn't have no knowledge of anything they were trying to get him to do.
Do you know whether or not at that time he had been charged with bribery or accepting a bribe?
Yes, he was charged with that charge at that time because he also discussed Melvin Priester Sr. and how he treated him on a bond hearing.
All right, let me see if I understand. You know at the time he had been charged, and he talked about the Attorney General, and if you would tell me that everything you can know, you can remember that he said about the Attorney General and some people in the Attorney General's office.
Object, Your Honor, it's hearsay.
It's not hearsay, I just repeat Mr. Henderson.
It's hearsay.
Seriously, sustained for the truth of the matter.
Would you tell the jury whether, I don't understand the objection.
The objection, I understand, is hearsay as to what Mr. Henderson said to this person, sustained.
Mr. Henderson indicated to you whether or not any threats or promises had been made to him.
No, he was just intimidated. He was worried about them harassing him.
Who harassed him?
Some members of the Attorney General's office that constantly came down to the jail talking to him.
Did he say whether or not he...
Hearsay.
Of course, with my brother, that's impeachment. I don't understand.
Are you claiming to offer for the fact that it was said, not for the truth of the matter?
Yes, it's the fact that Mr. Henderson denied making any statements like this, saying he was ever threatened. I asked Mr. Henderson that, he denied it. He said he'd never been threatened. He said he gave his testimony just because he was doing right. He was doing right.
I remember his testimony, and I remember you crossing down and playing that audio and him retreating to some extent and admitting that he had a conversation with this gentleman that was recorded on the telephone. Ask your question again, and I'll try to give you some leeway again if I'm convinced that you're offering this testimony just for the fact that it was said by Mr. Henderson, not for the truth of the matter. All right.
With all due respect, I'm always going to be for Mr. Henderson, so I'm witness stand here before testimony.
That's so, it's not for the truth.
Ask your next question.
All right, sir, when you talk to Mr. Henderson, did Mr. Henderson tell you that he had any knowledge about any illegal wrongdoing or wrongful acts by Mr. Robert Smith?
He told me he didn't know anything about any of that stuff. They brought it to, he told me they brought it to him. I said, well, go take it to the FBI and let them know about it and let them make the decision.
I said, he told you that who brought it to him?
The Attorney General's office.
Judging from his state of mind, what you observed about him, could you tell whether or not he was indicating to you that he was feeling threatened?
I'm no doctor, but I can tell you he was very concerned by the sound of his voice. And that's when I referred to him, telling him that if he didn't trust anyone to go to the FBI, but he was very scared about a lot of things.
And you say you've known Mr. Henderson for how long?
About 15 years.
Has he ever told you that he's ever paid any bribe money to Robert Smith?
No. No, he's never said anything like that. I worked in the brain melting and campaigned with her. And, nothing ever like that ever came up. And all the times that Robert Shuler Smith, that was never the question.
What do you mean it's never a question?
Nobody ever brought anything up derogatory about Robert Shuler Smith at the end of the campaign doing anything illegal.
How well do you feel like you know Robert Smith?
I think I know him pretty well.
Are you familiar with his family background, where he was raised?
I grew up in Canyon, what we call the hood. And his grandfather owned Valley Street grocery store.
I'm gonna check this out as relevant.
I'm just showing you
Not relevant to
I'll let you ask that, this is a foundational question, but otherwise I'm going to sustain it on relevance for him. I'll let him answer that one.
Have you observed anything that would indicate to you that Robert Smith would have any need to accept any bribe in connection with the district attorney's race or anything else?
Robert Shuler Smith family is very financially sound. And I've been knowing that for years, and everybody else knows it in the neighborhood and everywhere else. But they don't need no money like a couple of thousand or whatever, any kind of amount of money, because they got their own money.
When y'all were doing the political campaign, did Robert himself solicit donations? Do you recall whether he did or not? Or he solicited campaign donations?
No.
Who did that?
It was some other people that was trying to raise it. I think one of his relatives was trying to help him, I think it might be an uncle, Matt Thomas, and people like that that was helping him. He didn't get involved in anything like that.
All right, sir. Yesterday, before we left court yesterday, did some representatives of the Attorney General's office come to visit you and talk with you?
Yes, it did.
What if anything, did they tell you about Robert Smith?
Objection. Hearsay. What you think?
What if anything did they ask you to do?
Well, they were, I'm kind of confused on how to answer that.
How did they treat you? Just describe it to me, how did they treat you?
Objection to relevance. I didn't treat you.
Overruled.
First of all, how many of them was it that came to talk to you?
It was 3 of them.
Can you give me the tenor of how they treated you? Just describe their conduct for you.
Well, one made me feel like he was aggressive through his body language and his tone and his voice, and I also spoke out against that.
And who was that? Which one was it?
The man right here,
The black man or the white man?
the black guy.
And do you know who the others were that were with you?
I think it was the young man right there and another man.
You mean,
The 2 right out there.
how did he treat you, man?
Both of them treated me very respectful.
Maybe it's wrong. Yes, sir. How long did you talk to him?
Probably what, about 35, 40 minutes.
Have you told him, you tell him anything different what you told us here today?
No, the only thing I told him different was I don't care who it is. If it's Robert Henderson or Robert Shuler Smith, I'm going to tell the truth either way. And I have no problem with telling the truth, but I'm not going to sit up here and lie on anyone or for anyone. I'm too old for that.
That's all.
Cross-examination.
States, Mark sent something yesterday, right?
That's correct.
And you told me that you felt like I was interrogating you, cross-examining you, right?
That's right.
And didn't I tell you that's because that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow? Did I tell you that?
Yes, you did.
Okay. So did I treat you disrespectfully? How did I treat you disrespectfully?
It's your body language and your tone of voice.
Disrespectfully? Am I treating you disrespectfully now?
Now you're showing me respect, but you were trying to get me to, like you were trying to push me into saying stuff that I wasn't going to say because it was been a lie.
Like what?
When you made a statement that did you know that, Robert Henderson took a polygraph test? I don't have no way of knowing if Robert Henderson took a polygraph test. I don't know whether he passed it or not.
Do you know if he passed the polygraph test when he went to the FBI?
I don't know what he did. You the one that made the assumption that he did.
But you brought it up today, right?
I'm repeating what you told me.
But you know now, right?
I don't know nothing now.
Okay. Do you know if he talked to the FBI?
You said he did.
Okay. We can do it. Now, you told Mr. Henderson he had a problem with the AG's office, he should talk to the FBI, right?
That's correct.
And didn't I advise you then that he had talked to the FBI before he came to talk to us?
Yes, you did.
And if you have a problem with what we're saying, you
Not what they decided to say there.
you're right. That thing.
I should mark for them.
I'm sorry. And then, I thought it was really good. All right, I'm gonna show you what's in mark this. This is exhibit item first. You recognize that? You see that document?
I see the document.
What does it say right there at the top?
Federal Bureau of Investigation.
And who are they talking to?
Robert Earl Henderson, also known as Too Sweet.
All right. Sorry.
I'm trying to see something. Okay.
All right. You done?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask you another question now?
Okay.
Now, you said if Mr. Smith was having a problem with the Attorney General's office, he should tell the truth to the FBI, right?
No, I said that Robert Henderson needs to go tell the truth, not Mr.
I'm
Smith.
sorry, Robert Henderson should tell the truth to the FBI, right?
Right.
Okay. Right here, that second paragraph right
You've
there.
got a report, please, not yet, but ready for the documents, not
That's
that.
the reading, like, you do that?
That's
So you ask him to read it for himself?
Yes.
All right, I'll let him read it to himself.
Is he reading that? You reading that?
Yeah.
Is Mr. Henderson talking about a bribe in that document?
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
What's your objection?
My objection is, Your Honor, that's hearsay, that's a statement that he gave to the FBI, it's a hearsay statement. He never testified, what he testified about is what Henderson told him, not what he told the FBI, and that's not conflict with witness.
I understand. At this point, I'm not letting him read that document out loud to the jury. It's ideal, but if he can read it and form an opinion about what Mr. Henderson signed for this document, I'll let him do that.
In this particular paragraph I showed you, is Mr. Henderson telling about Mr. Smith taking bribes?
All right, Your Honor, I just like to preserve my record, that's
All
no
right,
right.
I'm going to sustain the objection to that question.
Is there any indication that there's Mr. Henderson's talking about bribes in this document?
Your Honor, before, please, I object to this, Your Honor, this one, she's trying,
All right.
she's saying will not follow Your Honor's instructions.
Sustain.
All right. And you said you know Robert Henderson?
Yes, I do.
And he's a con artist, con man, and what else you call him?
He's one of the type of people that lie so good you make you forget the truth.
But you call him Reverend Henderson, don't you?
Yeah.
You call him Reverend Henderson, don't you?
He goes by that title, so I gave him.
That's what you call him, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I denied
Is that what
it.
you call him? I'm sorry.
Let him finish his
Yes.
answer, please. You may complete your answer.
Yes, I know him by Reverend Henderson also.
Is that
I
what
know him by Too Sweet, Robert Henderson, and some of the other people call him worse names.
Okay, but you call him Reverend Henderson, right?
I use Reverend Henderson.
Okay. Is that what you call con men and charlatans and these all disreputable characters? You just call them Reverend? Just for off GP?
One, using a title doesn't mean that these people are not con men or anything else.
Every person you call Reverend is a con man?
No.
You reserve that title for just people in general, just call people Reverend?
He goes by that title.
That's what you call it.
God, excuse me, just interrupt real quick.
Don't interrupt him, please.
Yes, sir. That's what you call him, right?
Yes, I did call him.
And are you here to tell the truth today, Mr. Jury?
Yes, I am.
And you are a person who tells the truth all the time, right?
I hope to be.
You hope to be?
Yeah, because you never know what's going to happen in life.
Would you tell the truth to this jury today? Would you tell
Yes, I did tell the truth.
Okay, would you tell the truth to the courts?
Yes,
Would you provide documents in court that were always truthful?
I think so.
Do you have a web page?
Yeah,
Do you tell the truth on your web page?
I tell what I believe.
What you believe or what the truth is?
If I believe it, I think that it's true, but that's why I post it.
Just because you believe something makes it true?
I believe you're an attorney, but that don't make it true.
People used to believe that earth was flat too. Did it make it true?
I don't know. I wasn't living during that period of time.
You know it ain't flat though, don't you?
Do you?
God, I'm just giving you a doctor, I never said it before, I never done.
I'll give you a short time. You can cross it.
You're good friends with Robert Smith, aren't you?
I'm friends with Robert Smith,
And
yes.
his family.
Yes,
And you've been supporting him this whole time, right?
that's correct.
He says he's honest.
Yes, I do.
If you know for a fact that Mr. Smith lied to Judge Will during a hearing about the amount of drugs that were found in a particular case,
Court, please, I'm taking it, that's not proper to talk about testimony that's come on.
Let him finish his question, please. Finish your question.
if evidence has been brought out that Robert Smith lied to Judge Will about how much drugs were found in the case, is that honest? That being honest?
Well, one, that's your idea. If I do not
He's not
read,
responsive.
Your Honor,
Responsive, then he can talk about whatever he wants to talk about.
I didn't completely answer. Please be responsive to the question asked.
If Mr. Smith lied to Judge Will about how much drugs were found in the case, is that honest?
Your Honor, court, please, check that people make statements inadvertently or advertently know nothing about the facts. He can't.
He's on cross, objection to order. Question is, we consider that to be an honest action. If it were true, you consider it to be honest. I think that's true.
That's correct.
if it was true,
Would that be honest?
I guess it would be.
Would be?
You said if the statement was true,
If-
would it be honest?
Let me just rephrase the question. If Mr. Smith, during a hearing with Judge Will, told him one amount of drugs were found in the case, and in fact, it was a totally different amount, would that be true? Would that be a true statement? Or would that, I'm sorry, would that be an honest statement that Mr. Smith made to the judge?
If he believes that, yes, it would be an honest statement, wouldn't it?
If he knows the evidence is different, and he tells the judge something different than
Well,
that.
then, I don't want to be speculating, and it's hard for me to answer a question like that in the first place.
So now you don't want to speculate to someone's honest. Is that what it is?
When I write something on my page, it's my deal. Okay? It's my opinion. But if I didn't sit in the court case, it's not.
I've got it,
Are you
I'd
not
like my opinion to read this, I saw this for the first time, and
Gave me the motion first, I see he's done with that, now he's moving on to the other guy.
he's got about 5 documents here, I'd like a chance to read it.
Counsel, let's move along. He's given a picture here, exam. He's on the cross. He's subject to impeachment of prior statements or inconsistent statements, and that's not a matter that the state's required to discover to you if he's on cross.
We have a mark with application, so I'll be able to use it, I got my case.
Can we direct our own cross-examination without just waiting?
I'll let you do it on redirect if necessary, Jim.
Mark, I'll just for the record,
I don't know the way this can identify. Check the overruled at this point. Proceed.
Now, Mr. Davis, if Mr. Smith came and told Judge Will in a hearing that there was no evidence of drugs found in a house, when agents found drugs in the house and had pictures and documentation of it, would that be an honest assertion to the court by Mr. Smith?
You know, you really get me confused on that, because if I wasn't there and didn't see that, if I didn't, it's hard to answer some question that you tell me about Judge Wills or anybody else.
All right. You expect people to be honest, though, right?
Yes,
Show you a document. You recognize it?
yeah,
Is that proceeding in which you were involved?
that's correct.
And is that a true and correct copy? Do you know of that proceeding and the findings in that proceeding?
Yes, I do.
Got this time like that, this Marcus Station, that's exhibit.
I have checked, but then I'll study the document, see the date on it, see what it's about. I not have an opportunity to look at it to see what it's wrong, what it is, or what it shows us.
You mark it for ID only at the present time. Let me look at it and see what your opinion is.
Approach that time.
I'll let you deal with it on redirect. Certified copy of the court order for each of the defendants.
Right, something like that, it's a business, that's exhibit.
All right, it's certified copy.
It's certified copy.
All right,
I will say that,
all right. Objection overruled. He's on cross.
This is 10 file copy, it's not certified.
in that case, you might as well addition to that, it's not, put the whole file on. I would draw that, I don't have, I admit it's off the petition, I admit it's off the petition. My objection is I'll have the whole file to show that objection.
Objection overruled. No issue on contest, y'all never gave me any more.
Well, this is a jury.
That's just 1 second.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Mr. Davis, this is a temporary restraining order that was filed against you, against Sheriff Tyrone Lewis at the time. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
And isn't it true that this court granted Sheriff Lewis's motion?
Excuse me, I object to that, several places, Chancery Court, doesn't say this court here.
rephrase this, if you're saying this court, or you're referring to circuit court or some other court.
It was a special chancery court judge that heard that hearing, correct?
Excuse me, on place I was never planning order not being here. So that's the question we're talking about.
Okay. Did the special chancery court judge sign this document?
Yes, it did.
Okay, and is it therefore ordering the judge, that person make an order, or sign an order to this effect?
It's my understanding that a temporary restraining order gives 10 days for me to respond to that allegation. And at that time, after that 10 days, then it go before the judge to make a determination if it's going to be permanent or not.
Okay, but at that time, they made some determination, right?
That's correct.
And isn't it true that they determined that you were lying in the information that you put out in your record?
I object to that. It has no probative value on what the judge did one side of the case said, whatever his determination was, when you never heard this side of the case. It makes no probative value.
Objection overruled. Objection, we don't regret.
The evidence produced thus far shows the statements to be false that you made, right?
No, I didn't make any false statements. That's their allegation against me.
This is the court's ruling, right? That's not Mr. This is what the court is saying, right? The evidence produced thus far shows the statements to be false.
As I stated before, I never presented my case before the chancery
Did you
court.
respond within the 10 days that they gave?
Yes, we did.
Did you get the restraining order removed at that time?
Right now, it's no restraining order because after 10 days, it was removed itself. We're right now in litigation.
But they gave this restraining order because they said you were not telling the truth and whatever it was you were talking about.
That was their allegation, just like I don't think you tell the truth on everything, but you know,
Do you know me?
do you know me?
You actually said I don't tell the truth about things.
Do you know me? Do you know if I'm telling the truth or lying to you?
I know that you lied here.
Excuse me, I'm looking forward to asking your disregard that.
So instructed to read objection to the fact. Counsel don't argue.
Yes,
With the witness, if the witness, please don't ask questions of the counsel.
Isn't it true that there was a temporary restraining order granted against you based on what the court thought was false information?
Now, the court police objected when he says the court thought.
Objection overruled. He's on the ball.
Is that true or not, Mr. Davis? Yes or no?
That is the form that was filled out by Tyrone Lewis, attorney, and presented to the judge to sign.
Oh, so the judge just rubber stamped whatever Tyrone Lewis already said? Is that what you're saying?
It's a temporary restraining order.
But the court ruled that you again, that you have provided false information, right?
I don't know if the rule, it was 4 other people on that lawsuit. So who's lying?
My first witness, John?
Yes.
And do you like Judge Priester?
No, I don't.
What do you have against Judge Priester?
Judge Priest is a liar.
You're not.
No.
And you're a real supporter of the DA, right?
That's correct.
of the web page, one of your web blogs?
Yes. Yes.
Are they all three accurate, correct copies of your web blogs?
Yes.
At these time, I'd like to have these documents marked, this one says it.
I don't think so, let me check. That was pretty good. No, sir, I don't object to these quick things. Mark, just single two.
Staple them together, emitted and marked with a single good.
Yes, sir.
Council, I must say that time is precious, and we're here to try the case of the state of Mississippi versus Robert Shuler Smith.
Yes.
On charges of conspiracy and aiding and assisting a criminal defendant. Mr. Tony Davis is not on trial, so let's try to move it along expeditiously, please.
Yes, sir. Do you think this is appropriate when you're talking about city county court judge to display items like this, and talk about that person? That's the problem.
In my opinion, it's very accurate because that's what he reminded me of.
To remind you of this little thing right here, to
Yep.
the person,
Yep, you can start in favor of you.
that's appropriate to you. And this is what he did when he signed the arrest warrant for Robert Smith, is that what you said? That's what it looked like?
I exercise my right to freedom of speech and also to form my own opinion and make a public statement to my Facebook friends. And that's what I felt at the time, that's what I still feel.
This is another one of your posts where you went to a long soliloquy about how Mr. Smith's being mistreated, all of that.
Yes,
Talk about Mr. Henderson at the bottom.
that's correct.
Now, are you asking people to show up in masks for Robert Smith,
That's correct.
and then you call Jim Wilson a slave master?
That's correct.
Who's the slave that Mr. Hood owns?
Well, you're looking at one of them.
You.
You.
I'm a slave.
Yeah, you act like it.
I'm a slave. Do slaves get paid? Do their work? Sir?
Like I said, that's my
You
opinion.
think that's appropriate? To call me a slave, sir?
I think it's appropriate when you sit up here and try to point a finger and make a person, call a person a liar, that the shoe should fit on your foot too.
So that makes me a slave if I ask you questions?
Well, it makes me think that you are just a flunky.
A what?
A flunky
Flunky.
for Jim Hood.
Flunky for Jim Hood?
Yes.
You know anything about me, sir?
Do you know anything about me?
You made the assertion once again that I'm a flunky. Now, answer my question. Do you know me, sir?
Don't want to, do
Do
you?
you know anything about my history?
Do you know anything about my history?
Sir, just to answer the question, please, and don't ask the lawyer a question.
No.
All right. Do you know that I'm a prior military, retired from the United States military? You
No.
know that? You know that I have 3 degrees, 2 from HBCU?
So, no.
I'm asking you, do you know anything about me, sir? Huh?
I form my opinion by your own, what you said.
My opinion, you form an opinion that I'm a slave based on what I'm asking you today. That's what you said? And then what did you call Stan Alexander?
Stan Alexander as his house, man. I left it open for anybody to make a decision for themselves.
His house what?
I I said house, and you put the word in there if you want to, but I didn't say any word.
No further questions.
Redirect examination, new matter brought out on cross.
Say I said it first time.
That's
I read it same way. Davis, I'm showing you this first document the council asked you about. Before the judge issued this temporary restraining order, did you get any notice? Did you get an opportunity to come give your side of the case to the judge?
I received a subpoena to be there the next day, and I didn't even have an attorney at present, and the judge held everything and said that for me to get an attorney, and then they were going to redo it, I had to have legal representation.
All right. Did y'all ever, after you had this hearing, did the case go on? Did y'all ever have a hearing where you got an attorney and presented your side? Did that ever happen?
No.
Why not? What happened?
The last thing I did was a deposition on November the 15th, and we haven't heard anything from that since then.
You mean you're representing yourself, is that what you're saying?
No, I have an attorney.
Who is your attorney?
Rodney Dixon.
Now, who is he a former sheriff or a candidate sheriff or what is he?
He was, Tyrone Lewis was a former sheriff.
And were you supporting somebody else in the election?
Yes, I was.
Who were you supporting?
Victor Mason.
The current sheriff is supporting somebody.
That's correct.
And do you remember this? Says
Mr. Wade, do you think you'll finish in the next 5 or 10 minutes?
I'd rather if you want to understand.
All right. We need to take a break for the jury. And since it's 10 minutes to 12, there'll be a lunch break, okay? I am going to give you an hour and 15 minutes for lunch. I'll ask you to return to the jury room no later than 5 minutes after 5 minutes after lunch. Excuse me. Please don't allow this case to be discussed in the present. We don't need immediate coverage. All right? You may be excused to the jury room. We'll stand in recess. We convene in 5 minutes after lunch.
Yeah, Brad Carter for Daniel Stevenson. It's my understanding that all parties agree to release Mr. Stevenson from his opinion.
Correct? All right. Are you ready to conclude with your redirect of this witness and then call Mr. Rundle? All right, bring the jury in from the roster, if you would. All right, Mr. Wade, you may continue with your redirect examination, Mr. Davis.
Mr. Davis, we talked earlier about this temporary restraining order for counsel interviews, exhibit S-93.
Yes, sir.
We talked about that earlier this morning.
Yes, we did.
And you explained claim that this case is still in litigation, is that right?
That's correct.
Now, you said you supported Mr. Lewis's opponent, the current sheriff.
That's correct.
Yeah, I correct, you no longer support him.
I no longer support him.
Yeah, I take it from what you're saying that you are apparently very active in politics, am I correct?
Yes, I am.
And do you express your opinion sometimes on your Facebook page?
You're gonna object to leading with
Please,
I'll rephrase.
rephrase it, please.
Council introduced exhibit S94. See that? It's got a three-page document.
Yes.
Let me first read you read this to the jury. Can you read that out loud? Everybody say it. What do you say?
County Court Judge and the preschool senior was doing his happy dance when he signed arrest warrants on Robert Shuler. This must be his true nature. Is he is he doing his back up to the stunt dance for Jim Hood, or is it for being?
Is it, what was your, you don't need to tell me what you think more than what's in there. What was your purpose in writing that?
To speak out about what I thought was unfair. The way it was done.
Is, to your knowledge, so far as you know, was Judge Priestley the person who signed the original arrest warrant for Robert Smith?
Yes, that was my knowledge of that. I thought that was the same.
Now, this next, same document, second page. And it says, from Tony Davis' blog. Is this something that you wrote just recently, apparently on December 17th?
Yes, it was.
Or is it all pertaining to what you thought about this case, or that the whole purpose of it?
No.
Or can you tell me what was the purpose of it?
The purpose, is for how I personally felt about it from my own observation.
And could you read that to the jury? What does it say?
Well, which part?
Let's start at the top.
The district attorney relationship with Too Sweet apparently went sour. Robert Too Sweet Henderson told the FBI that he paid bribes directly to Hinds County District Attorney Robert Shuler Smith. Too Sweet's testimony was recently submitted to the Hinds, submitted by the Attorney General and the prosecution against the DA and Hinds County grand jury indicted Smith in September for 3 counts of property handling defendants. Former Assistant District Attorney Al Johnson pled guilty in July for accepting bribes in exchange for giving favorable treatment to criminal defendants. He is a witness in the state of Mississippi versus Robert Shuler Smith. Henderson was indicted for 2 counts of conspiracy to bribe a public official in July as well. Earlier post Henderson was a convicted drug dealer by Haley Barr pardoned him as he left office. However, a grand jury indicted Henderson on his legal possession of 2 firearms. Too Sweet has a felony conviction in Illinois. He apparently had 2 firearms in his possession when he was arrested early in July earlier post. Mr. Smith told the court that he was investigating alleged bribery scheme being perpetrated in his office by members of his staff. However, the prosecution charged the claim in a motion submitted on December 2nd. Prosecutors claimed that Henderson testified he paid bribes directly to DA, the motion stated.
Go ahead.
In the point of fact, evidence of the other bribery activities are recounted as in the FBI 302 report of the interview of Robert Earl Henderson, also known as Too Sweet, which has been proven to the defense in discovery in this case.
Go ahead.
In that FBI 302, Henderson recounted numerous instances of money being passed directly to Smith. Henderson was indicted for bribery. A copy of his testimony regarding the bribery scheme in which Henderson was involved is admissible under Rule 404 to show motive, intent, knowledge, identifying an absence of mistake. Omission of such evidence is further authorized to permit the state to tell a complete story to avoid confusion among the jurors. A FBI 302 is a form used for interviews. Kingfish,
All right, stop there. Is that what you wrote? Is that a summary that you gave and things that you wrote? Is that what you did?
that was my summary from, I posted what Kingfish, had said, Jackson Jambalaya,
So you're quoting what Jackson Jambalaya had said.
who posted.
This next thing says,
Kingfish notes to Sweet's testimony.
stop there. When it says Kingfish notes, does that mean that's something you did not write somebody named Kingfish right there?
That's correct.
All right, read that.
Too Sweet testimony is somewhat surprising that he is a petty, hardcore, petty and hardcore. It appears that Too Sweet soured on the prospect of prison and flip, posted by Kingfish at 1:03 p.m.
All right. Is the next post, is that something you posted, I read hope?
Yes, now that's my comment.
That's what you commented. All
Right.
right, we read that.
I really hope that Too Sweet would have changed his ways and kept his faith in God. Robert Henderson, you are a liar, and your reputation will be brought out. Now you think that this will get you, from doing time for your crime, but you've already lost this battle because the people are waiting to expose your lies. Robert Henderson, have you forgotten our conversations? I even posted the comments that you gave me, and now you changed your story. I don't like liars. Kingfish of Jackson Jungle, I know your history, including when you swallowed the cocaine and when you were one of Frank Milton boys and now Socrates Gary boys. Now, Robert Henderson, don't lie for Jim Hood or Stanley Alexander. This is what they do. They lie and they go after everyone who will stand up against them. People, please go to the website of Jackson Jambalaya and look at the documents with Stanley Alexander's name on it, and you'll see the conspiracy against Robert Shuler Smith. People, we need to show up in mass and stand by Robert Shuler Smith. Or are you going to let Jim Hood continue to be your slave master and Stanley Alexander as his house blank? Please share.
Is that what you wrote?
That's what I wrote.
What was your purpose in doing it? Why are you writing that?
Because my purpose was that I felt like this was a grown-up charge of just a issue where I don't want to try to find the right word. This was like retaliation for one person standing up against Jim Hoover.
Let me ask you a question. I don't want you to go into detail of what this is about, but if you had some personal experience of your own with Jim Hood,
Yes, I have.
and basically, when you talk about Jim Hood and your apparent bad opinion of it, is that based on some personal experience that you had with him?
Yes, it was.
May I have this? I believe that's all I have. Did the issue you have with Jim Hood have anything to do with Robert Smith?
No.
That's all right.
May stand down, Mr. Davis. Next witness for the defense.
Sherry,
District 1, please.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear firm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, that you got? I do. Maybe see.
Mr. Coroner, I will allow you to stay here behind the bar and listen to anything legally and constitutionally necessary.
Mr. Davis, back to you, John.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Direct examination, Mr. Rumley.
I'll say, John.
Yes, sir.
What is your name, please?
James Kevin Rumlet.
What kind of work do you do, Mr. Ronald?
I've been an attorney for about 15 years.
As part of your practice,